Hello, greetings, welcome. Thanks for clicking on the video. You're probably like, I don't even like Disco Elysium, but I'm going to click on this video anyway because I love this guy. I love the videos he creates. I love everything about him and I want to engage with his content. That's what you said to yourself and I appreciate it. If you haven't played Disco Elysium, if you're not even a Disco Elysium fan, you should change that quickly. I mean, if point and click adventures, RPG, Dungeons and Dragons type gameplay isn't your thing, lot heavy dialogue, then maybe it's not for you. But if any of those things do interest you, it's probably the greatest one of them made of all time. I'm a big fan. Anyway, that's not the energy that I wanted to bring to this video. I don't know what exactly the energy I wanted to bring to this video. I guess it's in the title though, because I'm pretty certain that what I want to call this video is just put this on while you're drawing. I need to lean into that. That's what I think. Quick, do your drawing. Forget about me. Forget about what I'm saying. Irrelevant. Unnecessary. Content. You're busy. You've got things to stress about. You've got things to work on. You need to do that drawing. You want to do some creativity. This is about you and what you want to do. So just go and do that thing. Do the drawing. Or maybe you're doing nothing. Maybe you're looking for something. Get that fix. Get that bit of entertainment. Thanks for watching. It's like I'm a busker on the digital highway. I'm on the streets with my cap out. Except I don't even have a Patreon or anything like that. I'm making absolutely no money. But that's not what I'm here for. Secretly, it is. Secretly, in the back of everyone's minds, we're thinking, how can we monetize this? How are we going to survive in this capitalistic hellscape? Secretly, that's the backbone of everything. I mean, until it's not. Until you come to that sort of strange spiritual awakening when you realize that entire concept's bullshit and it's only causing you pain and strife in your life. It's just causing you worry and anxiety to be constantly thinking that your life is only worth something if it's geared towards monetary gain. Let's tone it down a little bit. We make do, don't we? We do what we gotta do. We do what we gotta do. But as long as you've got it there. I've been watching Midnight Gospel again. Great show. Highly recommend. I mean, Duncan Trussell's great, but Pendleton Ward is great for the way that he's picked the conversations that Duncan had to formulate the episodes around. Top tier. Great episodes. So that's now you know the sort of headspace I'm in when I'm making this video. I'm in the Midnight Gospel headspace. So all that was to say, carrying on the theme from last video. Fuck making money. Fuck capitalistic annihilation that we're all running towards headlong. We're like just taking each other out. Going for the legs, just doing what we can, separating ourselves into little boxes and going, I'm going to get mine. So instead of that, just remember, I am you, you are me, you're the universe happening, baby. You can only take so much of that. You can only take so much of it. You got to dose it. You got to have little doses of it. Then snap back to reality. Remember that this is all just a sort of a little performance. Talk about other things. Talk about other things. Disco Elysium. I mean, very politically, spiritually, societally driven, targeted, incredible story. The background of this computer is that sort of wide shot of the whirling in rags and the weird statue with the horse that's like exploded. Big fan. Still thinking about that like People Make Games documentary. Still don't like that the main guy of the People Make Games documentary thing, YouTube channel, decided to end it on such a sour note that goes against the workers and not against the money men. You know, the creator, the artist and creator behind Disco Elysium tries to like steer the argument against him for next to no reason other than maybe he was difficult to work with. Odd. Anyway, let's not go into that. I know that there are like Disco Elysium mega fans also in my audience just because I've made a few videos about it. So shout out to you. I hope you enjoyed this little video. I mean, just to talk about the art as well, as in the art being this art, my art here. This was just a little experiment that sort of, as little experiments go, it went out of hand in like a good and a bad way. I wasn't really sure. I just wanted to challenge myself to do a purely digital character sketch, you know, like all the line work, all digitally, because as you might know, maybe you don't know, I often like doing pencil sketches traditionally and then scanning them in. Just wanted to test myself. Who can say? I'm not an expert on things, anything really, but I just wanted to challenge myself, have a go, make a little drawing, and I kind of like the outcome. Originally, I was gonna then do a portrait character design drawing of Harry, the main character, but I just haven't got around to it, and I moved on to other things. So you're just getting Kim in the iconic finale pose, positioning, stance. It's kind of the finale moment in a way. I had fun with it. At the end, I'm messing around. I'm seeing a lot of, hey, changing subject. You know what's annoying and stupid, but like kind of cool and inspiring, but also I hate it, is the influx of AI graphics. I'm specifically saying AI graphics because I don't know why I'm making that differentiation. But all I mean to say is I've gone on I like art. I like all types of art. I like drawing. I'm an illustrator. I can kind of animate a little bit. But one thing that I always, maybe some people wouldn't think that I maybe like, is just like pure graphic design, like pure graphics, like text and sort of symbols and stuff. But I'm a really big fan of it. So sometimes when I'm scrolling the old internets, scrolling the old medias, I like seeing graphic design. But what I've seen an influx of is I've seen some really cool graphic design, maybe with a drawing in as well. And I'm like, whoa, this person's really cool. They can really do punchy graphics and it looks great and really satisfying. And then I click on their account and I see made with Midjourney, and I'm instantly like disappointed, bored by it, not impressed. And I'm like, great, it's just another AI bullshitter. That was just to say is I feel like I'm not very good at it, but I do like sort of experimenting with more graphicsy stuff when I finished my illustration. What I mean by that is it never works out that well, but it just means sort of playing around with text or like little symbols and stuff that sort of, embellish the illustration to make it look more, I don't know, maybe more like a poster, more like a cover art or something. It's something I want to try more of anyway. Just at the end of this video, at the end of the drawing, I add a few little details. I play around with some half tones just to make it a bit comic-y. I play around with maybe the gun, like things to do with the gun going off. And I add a bit of like graffiti text with his name on. And then, right at the very, very end, I'm like, it needs a background. I need to do a background. I go through my archives and I haven't used it for anything, but I made this really cool, weird mixed media paint thing that I then scanned in years ago. If you're interested, it's called Pebio. The brand is called Pebio. They make these weird weird mixed media paints that you don't use a brush or anything with. You just pour them, and then if you like use two colors, for example, they sort of blend together and create all these weird effects. And you can sort of like, I don't know, use a stick to like swirl them about. And I shoved it on the background, and it straight up just looks perfect for the Disco Elysium vibe. I edited it quite a bit to make it really dark, but it just looks like such a good background. Such a good background. You gotta wait and see it. Having said all that, I'm not 100% satisfied with it. I think it's just my constant worry that I'm not very consistent in my style, and that even though there is a level of consistency I think I finally developed in my more pencil-based observational kind of creations. Not necessarily observational. My sort of environment stuff is what I mean. And I do think there's quite a lot of consistency there. I still feel like there's something missing sometimes, but maybe that's just natural. Maybe that's just normal. Like sometimes you just make a piece of art and it's like different than your normal stuff, and you go, "Oh, that's kind of cool," and you move on. So maybe I need to shut up. Just to finish up talking about Disco Elysium, it's one of my favorite games of all time. It's in my top 10 games of all time. In fact, just a little video game, the video game moment today, which there always is one, other than the fact that I've just completed Stray. I just completed Stray, really good game. I'm still playing Fire Emblem. I'll talk about this in a bit. Still incredibly excited for Baldur's Gate 3. But yeah, just completed Stray. Fun game. Lots of cool stuff going on. But for today's little video game moment, I'm going to reveal to you my top 10 games of all time. Imagine a little jingle there. So, coming in at number 10, I've got this. There's a cool app called GG. I don't actually know what it's called. It's like Goodreads, but for games. I've cultivated a list where I'm like trying to maybe get my 100 games, best favorite games of all time. I've only got about 80 on at the moment, and I would say past a certain point, they just sort of become good games that I've played, like games that I really like. But if someone put a gun to my head, what are your all-time favorite games? Probably half of these wouldn't be on it. Like past like 50, I'm just sort of going, that was a really cool game I really liked. Anyway, number 10, Divinity Original Sin 2. Incredible Dungeons & Dragons game. What I think is going to happen is that Baldur's Gate 3 is going to come out, and that's going to become one of my best favorite games of all time. It's going to pip Divinity Original Sin 2. But fundamentally, if you like Disco Elysium, by the way, but if you like fantasy stuff, definitely play Divinity Original Sin 1 and 2. I just think 2's better. It's the sequel. They do some more stuff. Coming in at number 9, Hyperlight Drifter. I mean, enough said. Incredible art style, amazing game. No words, just a great like Zelda-like action game with beautiful art. Coming in at number 8, no one's surprised, Zelda Breath of the Wild. Still haven't played Tears of the Kingdom. I have it. It's sitting down there. I'm waiting to complete Fire Emblem before I start it. I've heard mixed things. I've heard some people saying, "Oh, it's just more of the same." I've heard other people saying it's like incredible, even better, way better. They do more stuff than Breath of the Wild. But at the moment, Breath of the Wild. And number 8. Number 7, Disco Elysium. I'm not going to go into that. But notice, higher on the list than Breath of the Wild. So that's all I'm going to say. Number 6, Pokemon Soul Silver. Soul Silver, Heart Gold, my favorite Pokemon game. Pokemon's amazing. Still love it. Just nobody's nailed the like turn-based RPG adventure with so many options for a little party, a little squad. That's what I like. Training up a little squad that's not just like generic like anime characters. It's like cool creatures. Anyway, that you can change and level up and like get new ones and trade. Clever. Number 5, The Witcher 3. I'm a huge nerd. Fantasy stuff. I love Witcher 3 is probably one of the best RPGs in that vein. It's a great story. Number 4, Mirror's Edge. Now, some people, like, I know that Mirror's Edge is to be number 4 on someone's list of greatest games of all time. I get it. I do get it. My personal opinion is that the combination of like gameplay and art style makes it one of the most underrated, sure, but one of the most incredible 3D action platformers ever made, up there with Portal. You'll notice that I've put it above Portal. I love Portal. Portal is on my list somewhere. I think it's like around 20, right? I love it. But there's something about the combination of arts. I think it's cheesy story. It's kind of a generic story. But just the concept of like a parkour game, and they nailed it. They also created this like really cool art style. They absolutely fumbled the bag with Mirror's Edge Catalyst. Mirror's Edge Catalyst, not great. But the purity of what it does in such a short little action game with like parkour mechanics and beautiful scenery, I just love it. I've replayed it so many times. So that's why it's number 4. Number 3, Skyrim. Enough said. I mean, it's like my ideal game. At the time, I remember starting it up, and when you escape the initial introduction and you're running through the wilderness, I just thought, this is incredible. It like looked incredible at the time. I can't wait for Elder Scrolls 6 whenever that turns up. But yeah, Skyrim is amazing. Number 2, second favorite game of all time, Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. I mean, my favorite Mario game, an incredible turn-based RPG, an amazing story that I wish they would return to. Just the comedy, the vibe, the atmosphere, what you do. I love, if you can't tell from this list, I love turn-based RPGs. And it's just fun. It's really fun and original and cool. There's obviously nostalgia at play. But yeah, it's number 2. And number 1 is Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, my favorite game of all time. Nostalgia, sure. But art style, adventure, vibe, characters, the story, the quest. Sure, sailing around the water can get a bit boring sometimes. I just think it's the best Zelda game. I think Breath of the Wild and probably Tears of the Kingdom have the best mechanics, the best sort of play. But as a Zelda story, I think Wind Waker is my favorite. And it's my favorite game of all time. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I hope you found that interesting. I wouldn't, but now you know a little bit more about me, and I don't know anything about you. So what are you gonna do? We've come a long way since the start of this video. I'm on Blue Sky, by the way. If anyone's on Blue Sky, I'm Chaotic Good Radio on the Blue Sky app. I just thought it made sense to be there. And someone I know, a friend of mine, had a invite code, so they managed to get one, and they gave it to me. So I was like, cool. I'm doing a thing where I've like deleted Twitter from my phone, but I will go on it on my computer. Maybe that will minimize that. And then the fact that Blue Sky is like smaller at the moment, I don't know. There's something about that makes, if anything, I'll look at it less because there's less going on there. There's less people on there. So maybe it'll help me stop scrolling on my phone. Because I don't know about you, but social media, it ain't very social. And there's not a lot of media. Or there's too much media. Too much media, not enough social. Am I right? Or something like that. But I think that's everything. I think I've sort of told you everything that I wanted to. I think I've imparted everything that I wanted to. I've got news. I've got things to update you on. I'm doing drawings. I'm trying to get better at making videos. Oh, I fell off my bike the other day. That is a wound. Are words like that okay on? Will I be demonetized? See, the thing is, I think my channel's messed up anyway. I feel like, due to the nature of everything that I talk about on here, I don't think YouTube is pushing my content at all. But yeah, last week I fell off my bike. It was raining. There was a stupid dog walker with a stupid lead. I slowed down. I tried to go past, and bam, 90 degrees. Fell on the bike. Stuff just going. Ah! I was like, ah! And now I've got that. It was painful for a while. I'm okay. Bringing it up to everyone, telling it like it's some sort of war story. I've got to get back to doing work, but I do have things. I do have things, ideas for YouTube stuff. Thanks for being here anyway, and I hope your creative projects are going all right. I keep saying it at the end of every video, but I can't understate how excited I am for Baldur's Gate 3. I just think it could potentially become one of my favorite game of all time. It's not going to be Wind Waker, but it's going to be up there. My plan, just so you know, I've been obsessed with it. I've been watching videos. I've been seeing things. Jealous of all the PC players playing it now. I'm going to wait for it on PlayStation. It's going to be great. I'm going to play it with a friend. We're going to play it co-op. I'm thinking of playing a monk. Famously, apparently it's like quite a weak class, quite a weird class, but Larian Studios has like boosted it a bit, so it's more fun. I'm a bit worried that it's not going to be things I like to do in Larian games and RPGs in general. Talk to animals, pick locks. Worried that my monk character's not going to do either of those. Also be like charismatic and talk their way out of things. They're my three. Like a rogue that could speak to animals would be my thing. But I want to play monk. I want to craft a monk character. Go around smacking people with a bow staff in a fantasy game. That sounds fun. But anyway, I have started, and I'm gonna hopefully get 3 out. But I've been thinking, how do I make content? Why do I keep trying to make these videos where I like pile in loads of drawings in one video? I'm gonna maybe do a whole thing where I do one video per character class, per character design for all the classes of Dungeons & Dragons. And I've started that almost in celebration of Baldur's Gate 3. And then I can make videos. That's 12 videos. 12 videos. Character designs. What I got to make sure is I feed the pixel artists out there. So I'm going to have to do some pixel art at some point. I'm not sure what, but we'll see. I think that's everything. Fundamentally, this is a tiny little channel made by just an artist online. Isn't a natural at making consistent content that like works with the algorithm. I'm doing my best. That's all you can ask for, really. But you know what this is? This is a small, quick thumbnail storyboard sketch for potentially a sequel to one of my pixel art animations. That I suddenly I've had this idea brewing as what I would do for another pixel art animation. And I just had to get it on the page because I had the idea. I've shown you this now. This is probably months away, if not years, maybe. But there's an idea there, and that's cool. Long video to edit today. It's a long one, but that's why I named this what I did. Just a podcast meltdown. What I need is guests. What I need is someone to talk to. Christ. Because you're just seeing the sort of raw, unfiltered, into my psyche thoughts, rather than me in a conversation. It's very different. Me in a conversation with someone else, it's going to be a lot different to how I am here. But whatever. One day I'll literally have nothing to say, and that's when you'll know the videos will stop. Thanks for putting this video on while you do some drawing. It looks great. Keep making stuff. It doesn't matter if it's good, bad, terrible, amazing. You're making stuff and that's cool. You're making stuff and that's cool. You're making stuff and that's cool.